This is The Scene
on BBC Radio London with Aurie Styla.
This is The Scene.
Talking comedy, talking old school parody songs that he doesn't want me to mention. But let's talk some basketball. How you doing, Mooncey?
I'm blessed, thank you very much. Thank you for having me here as well.
No,
man.
thank you for coming down, sir. Thank you. You're the founder of Hoop Genius, which is a platform for the love of basketball.
That's correct, yeah.
Why basketball, sir?
You know what? It's basketball I've loved all my life, as long as I can remember. So most of my mum's family lives out in the States.
Okay.
So I guess that's kind of my first introduction to that. And then I really got into it when a family friend of mine moved back to the UK from Canada.
Okay.
And we were playing, it was like the Nintendo GameCube, kind of the NBA Jam, you know, like the 2-on-2.
2002s and
yeah,
stuff.
it was way back. And I was like Michael Jordan and Shaquille O'Neal on the same team. And just going crazy with it. I was like, yo, this is sick. And he was like, oh, I've got a hoop outside if you want to play. Went outside, started playing, and from that moment, just fell in love with the game.
Nice. And over here as well, I mean, we are exposed to basketball, but like you said, it is massively a thing in America and in Canada as well. So for you to do it over here, I mean, you must have been only a handful of people around you that were involved in basketball.
Well, this is the thing, is like, I love a challenge. Like, just me as a person, I love proving people wrong and doing things that people said I couldn't. So my whole life growing up, I always wanted to be a pro player, but then I never made it as a pro player. Like, I'm not going to tell you. Obviously, I would have been pro, but I broke my knee and that. But
Them guys, I know what you mean.
The classic
yeah.
lines. I'm going to tell you, I wasn't good enough to be a pro. Like, when you meet these pro athletes, you understand why they're professionals.
Yeah. The time they put in. Yeah.
0.01% of basketball players actually make it to that level. So when it was apparent that I wasn't going to become a professional player,
Yeah.
I still wanted to be involved in the game in some way. And growing up, I always told everyone, no, I'm going to do basketball when I'm older. And everyone used to think I was crazy. And I'm trying to find my own lane and build a platform and do things around the sport that help me keep involved with it as I grow.
So when you say do things around the sport, Hoop Genius, what is its main kind of ethos? What does Hoop Genius do?
So with Hoop Genius, the reason why I started that was previously I worked for a lot of US-based platforms, media outlets, doing journalistic writing for them, kind of writing stories. I do a lot of basketball analysis, so breaking down teams and players and that kind of thing. And I was freelancing for a bunch of websites in the States. And then I just thought, why am I working for someone else? I should work for myself. So I decided to start laying the foundations to build my own independent platform. So through that, I've been interviewing players. I've been all around America, or whenever players come over to Europe, been doing a bunch of interviews with the players to try and give fans over here a look into the lives of NBA players and what makes them so great at what they do, but with my kind of voice. So I feel like when I write or when I present videos, etc., I'm giving it to the people in a voice that they can relate to or maybe understand a little bit better than the traditional old school journalists of America that are usually around the game.
Do you feel like there's been a bit of a barrier because you're British, trying to do what the Americans would say is more their sport, or being a guru of that sport, if that makes sense?
Definitely. I would say I've had a lot of people not take me seriously because of my accent or where I'm from, but I like to think I've proven a lot of those people wrong. I mean, there was one example that I always remember. It was about a player called Jimmy Butler, who played for Chicago, and I was with a bunch of guys who were talking about basketball. I said, no, Jimmy's leaving. He's going to go to Minnesota. And some guy just pops out with, nah, you're talking rubbish. You don't know what you're talking about. You're from England. 2 weeks later, guess what team he plays for?
And then you jumped. So you could see it happening.
So it's like, I don't personally care for what people say when they doubt me or say negative things. And I like to let my work speak for itself. So that's why when I started writing, a lot of people just assumed I was American because of the knowledge that I had of the game. And a lot of people, when they speak to me for the first time or watch one of my videos for the first time, they're a bit surprised that I'm not actually from the States and I'm from the UK.
And North London, that is, right?
Yes, sir.
Nice. Born and raised. I was not going to sing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air song. That sounds silly. So, being from the UK, loving basketball and being able to meet so many basketball players.
Yeah.
Any favourites you've met or spoken to?
I would say Kevin Garnett, who was, when I was growing up, when I was playing, he was kind of the most dedicated player that used to play in the league. He was the most kind of, I don't want to say aggressive, but the most passionate kind of player.
Yeah.
With just that drive and that hunger for the game. So when I played, I took a lot of aspects from his game and implement them into mine. So last year I was out in Brooklyn, had the chance to meet him thanks to the 2K, NBA 2K, the gaming platform.
He plays for Knicks?
No, he played for the Minnesota Timberwolves,
Okay.
then the Boston Celtics, where he won a championship. Then he went to the Nets for a little bit before he went back to Minnesota and retired.
Okay.
Now he hosts his own show on TNT in the States.
Okay.
But meeting him was absolutely like a dream come true. Because I remember when he won his championship, like throughout his whole career, people say he will never win anything, whatever. And then he was in the center of the court lifting a trophy, just screaming, anything is possible. And that was 2008.
Nice.
And then those words have stuck with me. That's like a phrase that I hold very close to myself. So meeting him was like a dream come true.
Can I just say, with basketball, I haven't watched it in years.
That's what I'm here for, man.
I'm not the guy that knows as much as you. I tell you that for free. But I will say, when I was younger, I used to like read the magazines.
Yeah, Slam.
And yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there was, last time I read the magazines is when LeBron was just coming out of college.
Okay.
So that's a long
coming
time.
out of high school.
Yeah. And everyone was like, this guy is going to be the guy. And now look where he is.
Yeah, 2003. And it's funny that you mentioned that because this year, literally this week that's just gone by, possibly the biggest star since LeBron James, Zion Williamson. I don't know if you've heard about him.
Yes, recently I've seen the news.
He's gone viral everywhere on the internet. He's set the world alight with his dunks. And he's just about to enter the league, playing for the New Orleans Pelicans. So a lot of people have compared him to LeBron. So it's an exciting time for basketball fans out there.
I recently watched an interview with Ice Cube talking about the Big Three.
Yep.
The Big Three, if I'm right, I mean, I could be wrong in what I'm saying. Big Three is kind of like a small league that he creates.
Yeah.
For players of that he feels that should get more recognition as well, to come together and also and shoot hoops, as well as bring other people around into that kind of environment. Is there anything of that nature you'd want to do over here?
There is most definitely something of that aspect that I would want to do over here. The Big Three, what he does is he brings retired players who have finished playing in the NBA to come and play in that tournament. And unfortunately, I don't have the clout of Ice Cube to tell retired NBA players. I can't bring Kobe and say, Kobe, I know you're retired.
Not yet, innit?
But one day I hope to do something of the sort that can put the UK on a map. I just came back from Paris today.
Oh, nice.
I was there for the weekend for the Key 54 tournament. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I couldn't say I have that.
It's a street ball tournament sponsored by Jordan Brand now.
Okay.
And it brings together the best street ball players in the world. They had a ex-NBA champion playing in the tournament, Leandro Barbosa. Thousands of fans. They set up an outdoor court just for the weekend with stands underneath the Eiffel Tower.
Nice.
So it's crazy. But that tournament started from just a bunch of guys from the hood in Paris, loving basketball the same way I do. They went to the States and saw Rucker Park and ECB and all the massive street ball tournaments out there. They came back to France. They said, let's set this up. And the first year they had about 1,000 people watching. Now it's a global spectacle with the world's media there.
Nice.
But it's been like a 20-year process. This year was the 15-year anniversary, I believe, since Jordan Brand took over it, I think.
Okay.
So it's like, you can see like the longevity in it. It's like 20 years to get to this level. So for the UK, it's not going to be an overnight thing. But like, I'm laying the foundations now. I mean, like, I'm 24, so I like to think that during my lifetime I can see the game grow to that level and even higher.
24.
Yes, sir.
Young man. And you kind of fell in love with basketball. It's half your life ago, 12, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. I like that.
That's all I remember, man. Just basketball my whole life.
No, I like that. And with Hoop Genius, I mean, what is it you'd like to see next? If you were to say three things, definitely this is what I want Hoop Genius to become, what would those three things be?
Hoop Genius, the three things that I want in a dream world, I want it to become recognised on the level of the ESPNs, the Bleacher Reports, and that level of standing. Because I think in terms of the quality of work that I put out, I publish videos or interviews or written work and analysis, it is, at the end of the day, I don't want to blow my own trumpet and be big-headed, but I like to think it's world-class because previously I've written for major outlets in the States. I don't like to publicise who and what. I like to publicise Hoop Genius now.
Yeah.
But those have gotten millions of views. I wrote for one website and had a readership base of over 2.5 million. So the work that I'm putting out and creating is already been proven. The quality of it's been proven.
Yeah.
Now I just need to elevate this platform so that the world sees it on that same level. The second thing I'd like to do is I would love for there to be a player from London, from the UK, to make it to the NBA.
Oh, that would be great.
And for me to be able to tell the story of how they got there. There's a few guys in the NBA currently that they consider British, like Luol Deng, who's done great things for basketball in Britain. OG Anunoby currently on the Raptors, who won a championship. But those guys, not to disrespect them or discredit them in any way, they lived here for a little bit. But I would love to see a kid who's born here, grown up here, and gone through the system of basketball here, like grown up, and then gone on to the big leagues. Do you know what I mean? Because I think that would be insane, because no one's ever done it before. And I would love to be able to tell the story of how they did it and what they managed to do, because I like telling the stories of athletes, because I think that's something that fans can connect with. So that's something I'd love to see. The third thing, there's so many things that I want to accomplish. It's difficult to kind of narrow it down to just three.
I kind of threw it on you. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. The third thing that I want to see Hoop Genius accomplish is I want a collaboration with Jordan Brand. I want a Hoop Genius Jordan Brand sneaker.
Yeah.
Just to have the brand on that level. Like you see, DJ Khaled had a sneaker with Jordan Brand, and Travis Scott has had, obviously they're musicians, but the Key 54 tournament I talked about, they have a collaboration with Jordan Brand, their own sneakers. So I would love to see a Hoop Genius Jordan Brand sneaker for the fans out there.
Let's see that coming. I was going to give you one more big question here, but I got another one from what you just said. Do you think basketball can be, I'm not going to say basketball players, do you think you can get one that comes from London and grow to be NBA level from London without kind of the competition right in your face as you get like when you're in the States? Because I feel like here, even though basketball is popular, it's not in every block, it's not in every estate. There's a few basketball courts around. There's quite a few, but you haven't got the challenge that you have when it comes to, for example, football. People literally throw their jackets down on the field, kick ball, and whereas I don't feel like, as much as I know we love basketball and watching it on the screen, a lot of our young kids may get into it, but it's never as pushed as how you would see maybe a kid in Brooklyn who went to the local cage and they shot hoops for a few hours a day.
I definitely hear what you're saying, and I think that is one major barrier to basketball in this country. There's two things on that. The first thing is I look at examples of players currently dominating the NBA right now. So tonight, funny enough, they're announcing the MVP for this season.
Okay.
And the front runner is a guy called Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's a kid from Greece.
Oh, wow.
Who grew up, his parents emigrated from Nigeria to Greece. Grew up, he was like selling sunglasses on the beach and stuff, and he's made it through the Greek leagues. He was in the Greek second division, but the NBA team saw the potential in him and picked him up, because even though he wasn't facing the highest competition in the Greek league, they still saw the potential in his talents, and now he's arguably the best player in the league right now. The second thing is the lack of courts and all of that, the lack of access to the game is a major issue, and that's something that I really hope to address in the coming years. I think the first thing is, you're right in saying there's not a lot of courts out there. That's something that, when I have the finances available to myself, that I would like to address and provide facilities for kids to go and hoop, because like hooping has kept me out of a lot of trouble. You know, like I used to be playing ball. I was fortunate enough that where I lived, there was a basketball court I could just go to.
Yeah.
That I would go there first thing in the morning, even before school, play ball. After school, straight away, play ball. Not everyone is fortunate enough to have that. I want to create ways in which the game is accessible to everyone. The other thing is, a lot of funding has been cut from basketball. And like I don't want to talk politics or anything like that, but I think when you look at some of the other sports that are receiving funding, the impact that those sports have on local communities and have on people in general is very small compared to basketball. Because basketball, not only is it an amazing sport and it can change your life, it builds team building skills. You know, like I've seen teammates of mine grow as individuals outside of their basketball skills, their personalities, and they've developed into great people from being around a team and being with people that have the collective goal of winning games or whatever it is that they want to do. So that is definitely something that I want to look to sort out if I can. That's what I'm trying to do, man.
And I hope you can. I mean, I think it'll be amazing, especially in a climate now where we feel that there's not enough activities for young people. Something of that nature would definitely give youngers an option, as
Yeah.
opposed to just hanging around on street corners or what we might perceive as almost developing gang culture. Why not turn that kind of ethos of when people say, oh, these kids, they look like they're going down the route of gang culture into team culture and play a game? And basketball, I feel when I grew up, basketball was a big thing that we did in some of the estates I used to live in. When I used to Chalk Hill or St. Raffles, there was always a cage that you could go to and shoot ball, or play centre where they would be right next to a basketball cage. You go outside and shoot ball or kick ball, either one of the two. So final question I want to ask you. This one's a bit more cheesy, but I feel like you'll be good to answer this one.
Okay.
Do you have a favourite basketball film?
Favorite basketball film, without a doubt, is Coach Carter.
Coach Carter. Do you know? I thought you'd say
Without
that.
that film changed my whole life. You see,
It's not just the basketball in there. It's the teaching.
mindset.
Yeah.
You know when it's gentlemen report to the baseline.
Yes.
The amount that I ran after I watched that film for the first time, I went out and ran for miles. You couldn't tell now, but I went out and ran for miles after watching that. Because I think that says a lot about the power of basketball. Because if you look at, even though it's a fictitious film, it's based on a true story. And if you look at the impact that one man, that one coach of a team,
And it's a true story as well, yeah.
Yeah, the one coach of one team had that impact on that group of kids. Now with the power of Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all of these tools that I have at my disposal, if I can put basketball on a platform like that, I hope to change the lives of way more than just one team. If I can get through to people and show them that there's a route to, because it's not, the thing I love about basketball is not just the sport. Basketball and basketball culture encompasses music, fashion, all these different sorts of things. Like this tournament I was at the weekend, there was guys there, they were like doing custom artwork on sneakers. Do you know what I mean? There's like music acts performing. So even if you're not cut out to be a basketball player, you can still be around the game, and there's so many different aspects and elements of the culture that you can get involved with too.
Nice. Mine's Space Jam, but I'm not going to...
Yeah, they got Space Jam 2's coming out soon.
Yeah, we'll see how that looks. We're going to talk about sequels in a little bit later on. We have a nice discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, I got Mooncey.
Moonsey, yeah, that's correct.
All right, Mooncey.
Yeah.
Where's Mooncey come from real quick? Just real quick.
You know what? I'm not going to lie, I don't know. I
don't know?
I was kind of born with it, and here we are.
We'll Google it in a minute, yeah? Mo Mooncey's in the building. This is The Scene on BBC Radio London.